All right, everybody. Samori Benjamin here with a great ball player here, great talent. Michael Harris III, Atlanta Braves. Michael, man, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Now, Michael, you're with the Atlanta Braves, and you were raised in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So, how did you get into baseball growing up?
My dad got me into baseball when I was 3, and ever since then, I never stopped playing. So, it's just credit to him for getting me into it pretty early.
Your dad went to an HBCU, right, Afro State?
Yes.
Did he tell you much about his experience there?
He's got a lot of friends that still are around from there, so I hear about all their stories and their baseball stories growing up and there. But yeah, now he's a part of the Hall of Fame from there for baseball. So I guess he was all right baseball player, but yeah, I hear about it.
You know, myself as a kid growing up, first time I heard Alcorn State was because of Steve McNair. He was a quarterback in the NFL after that. Did your father go there when McNair went there? Mid-90s?
Mid-90s? Probably not.
Okay.
No, I think he was 80, 83 maybe.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, shout out to Alcorn State.
Yeah.
Now, growing up in Atlanta, you know, I know there's a lot of Afro-American ball players who are playing in Georgia, around the Atlanta area. There's a lot who's in the major leagues who you probably, I'm sure, came across growing up. But you know, how was it playing baseball in Atlanta, and how many of your Afro-American peers do you remember being interested in baseball?
Honestly, growing up in Atlanta, it was one of the best things for me playing baseball. I was on one of the more talented teams in the country, and I was glad I was able to be a part of that team, and we were able to go to many different states and play in big tournaments. And that kind of just led up to, I guess, where I am now, playing with some more other good teams and some other guys that are now in the minors and in the big leagues as well. So I've played with some of the best talent that has come through Atlanta, and I've seen it growing up. Example, Jason Hayward, when he first came up, I was still a young guy, and that was my guy. So just watching him and being able to play in Atlanta was pretty wild.
Yeah, definitely. Jason Hayward, definitely. I interviewed him like 11 years ago when he was with the Atlanta Braves. And so now that team you talk about, that was one of the best teams in the country. Was that in high school or before high school?
No, it was from the range of 7 to when we were 10.
Okay, 7 to 10. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so that's even before the Little League World Series age group. That's like the next high, 11 through 12. Okay, cool, man. So growing up, were you a fan of the Atlanta Braves?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so favorite player, Jason Hayward. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about? Do you have just any? What are some of your best memories of being a fan as a kid growing up watching the Braves?
Obviously, Jason Hayward's first hit was a homer. I was tuned into that game. Different memories. I would go to a lot of Braves games. Just different. I don't know, just different highlights from different games. I was a fan of pretty much anybody that came through. Obviously, we got Michael Bourne here today, so.
Michael Bourne is here?
Yeah.
Michael Bourne, a former outfielder.
Yeah.
Where's he at? Oh wow, so Michael Bourne did okay.
He was over here by the VP cage.
Now, was he with the Braves at some point?
He was.
Okay, he was with the Braves. Okay, yeah. I remember him with the Phillies and with Atlanta with the Astros.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, were you a fan of any other sport growing up?
Yeah, football, basketball. Pretty much watched anything that came on TV.
So were you an Atlanta fan of the football and basketball team?
Yeah.
All right, so I got to ask you a question. So Falcons fan, all right, so who was your favorite player growing up?
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones, okay. Julio Jones. I'm a huge Mike Vick fan. Yeah. Mike Vick was a little bit before Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, no doubt. All right, so, and you're a Hawks fan, okay. So now, just how was it, in high school, a lot of competition in the Atlanta area, so how was it playing with so much talent? Because so many of you guys have come across, like, Matt Olson, I think he was ahead of you, but, C.J. Abrams and, Tramel Taylor, I know, and even Jahmai Jones, a lot of guys. So how was it just growing up, just playing with all that competition in Atlanta?
Yeah, around the high school time, I played with a lot of guys that are now in the minors and in the league. Todd Bradley with the Rays, I played with him, and Lawrence Butler with the A's, I played with him as well. So we got a lot of other talent in the minors, and And I still work out with a good amount of those guys in the off season. So it's been, high school was a good time. Some good baseball being played, and it was fun at the same time.
Did you play football or basketball in high school?
No, I had stopped before then.
Got you. Okay. Now minor leagues. Now I know you get drafted in like 2019, right, in the 3rd round. So, what do you remember about just what that was like?
It was kind of unexpected. I didn't know if I was going to go as a pitcher or outfielder.
Right.
And I had a pre-draft workout a week before the draft in Atlanta, and that kind of just, settled it for me to be an outfielder. I had a pretty good BP session, and I guess ever since then they liked me as an outfielder over a pitcher, and I'm glad they took that chance on me.
Yeah, that's right. You did pitch. I saw that, and even I remember I saw LSU. They were recruiting you to be a pitcher. So, why did you stop pitching for one? Well, you know what? I know you got to so I'm sure in the minor leagues they were like, you know what, we want you to focus more on the outfield, right?
Yeah.
That was why. What was it like being a pitcher though, just in high school?
It was fun. I always felt like I had control of the game. I was up on the mound. I had the ball, so I kind of determined what the game was going to look like, and I guess what the batters did against me. So it was fun to obviously do that, and then when I was done, go out to the outfield, and then I guess vice versa. So it was fun.
If you would have kept pitching, how far do you think you could have gotten pitching?
That's a good question. It's kind of hard to determine, I guess, where you would have been pitching because, I don't know, there's so many good hitters and you don't know where exactly you develop and how your pitches develop. But I think I would have still made it to the league at some point. Probably not as fast as I did in the outfield, but at some point I would have probably made it to the league.
Yeah, it's very interesting because you see a lot of guys who in high school were pitchers and hitters. Both are good, but at some point they're only doing one when they get to the minor leagues. And then you see Shohei, you see how he can do both. And you wonder, how many of you guys have had the chance to do both in the minor leagues and how good you could have been at both in the majors. But okay, so now minor league baseball, when you first got there, what do you think was like the biggest difference between minor league and high school, if there was?
Just being off on my own, and I guess living in the world on my own. I guess with the job now. Obviously, after I got drafted, I had to go straight to Florida. And after a couple months there, I went back to Georgia and Rome. It was still like an hour 45 away from home, but just being on your own and knowing how to maneuver through the world by yourself.
And then 2020, there was COVID, so that season was pretty much ruined and all that. But then 2021, you get back, have a good year, make the Futures game in Colorado. So, what do you remember about that moment?
Yeah, that was obviously a fun time. A lot of good players were on my team and on the opposing team that are now stars in the league. So it was good to do that. I didn't expect to be in the league the next year after that, but yeah, it was fun to be in that, and I guess an honor to be named as a future game All-Star.
Yeah, I even remember seeing your current teammate Jared Kelenic in that game too. Okay, so you said that you were surprised that you were called up the next year with Atlanta. Well, you had a big year when you did get called up. So how did that go down, and what do you remember about being called up, and what your reaction was to be called up at that point?
My reaction, I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it because I was in AA. I thought I at least would have had to stop by AAA at some point, but yeah, it was fun. I guess that whole season I didn't really feel as much pressure because I was a young guy coming in, bottom of the order, just had to do my job and play defense at the same time. So I didn't really feel as much pressure, and that's probably why I had, I guess, a pretty decent year.
I should have asked you, the previous year, being an Atlanta fan growing up in 2021, they won the World Series. Your first time seeing them win the World Series in your lifetime, you're part of the organization too. So what was that like?
It was cool. I was at both home games against the Dodgers when they walked them off, so I was in the stands cheering them on. There's even some stuff on my Twitter I was recording, and yeah, it was obviously fun to see that. Atlanta hasn't had the best of luck with championships with me growing up, so it was good to see that and be a part of the organization.
So what do you remember about your major league debut?
It was a day game. I didn't get much sleep. I had to face the best pitcher in the league at the time.
Who was that?
Sandy Alcantara.
Okay.
And yeah, I had to fly in, get there. I guess a little jittery, but I guess after I got my first at bat, I settled in.
Now, you won the Rookie of the Month in, I believe, June, August, and September that season. So you had a really outstanding rookie year. What do you think gave you this? Gave you the ability, the focus, the strength to have that really good year?
It's just believing in myself and trusting what I do and what got me to the league. Not trying to change anything and be anybody else. Just being myself and believing in what I can do.
What's it like just being able to play in your hometown right now in front of family, friends, and for the team that you grew up rooting for?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I've always had the support in Atlanta, and to have it at the highest level is, I guess, even better. And play for a team that I grew up loving and know a lot of history about is one of those things you can't really put together. It's all a dream, and once it's really in reality, you still don't believe it. But it's probably the best thing that could have happened for me.
Two more for you. Now, right now, you're the only Afro-American player currently on the Atlanta Braves, and there's a lot, like we said, a lot of Afro-American kids who are playing in your area, but there's a lot who are in the baseball who are watching. So, what does it mean for you when you're out there to be representing the Afro-American ball player and be a player that kids like yourself, when you were growing up, can look at, and how you were inspired by Hayward, they can be inspired by you?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me, just knowing that I was one of those kids looking up to Hayward, a guy that's from the same area. So I kind of try to be that same person for the younger generation, and just knowing that there's always somebody watching. And I know it's a lot of kids out there in the Atlanta area that really like to watch me play. So it's really just being a good role model for them and showing them that, I guess, you believe in yourself, your dreams come true.
Last two, just coming up, when you first got up here, was there a pitcher who you faced that you were just like, wow, I grew up watching this guy, he was really great, now I'm facing him?
Lucky for you. I think. Did I face probably the Grum or Adam Wainwright? Probably one of those guys.
Got you. And last one for you. Your Atlanta Braves right now are playing the Mets today. The Mets are just a half game behind you guys for the top wild card spot. So about 60 games left. What do you think you guys have to do to finish off strong? And I know you've been out for a while, so how are you feeling physically?
It's still a pretty good amount of games left, and it's really the main thing is not panicking, just going out and playing our game and winning games and doing all the little things to be able to win games. Take advantage of certain situations and making the best of them. But still a good amount of games left, so there's no need to panic. And I'm just trying to be in the dugout and cheer those guys on until I can come back and do it on the field too.
All right, Michael Harris III, you are a pleasure to watch. Oh yeah, you got it. You got it real quick. I just want to say, Michael Harris III, you're a pleasure to watch, man. And looking forward to you getting back. Thanks so much, man, for joining me. And have a good one, man. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, folks, we're back.